welcome to the Keyboard Road Warrior with me, Movie Scouse 007, where we play Euro Truck Simulator 2 with a keyboard and its laptop. We are in Carlisle, in the United Kingdom, and we need to get ourselves rested and repaired. So, let's go ahead and do that. Alright, no. You've got the parking brake on, so this is a very, very tight. And unsurprisingly, the IKEA delivery trailer that we brought in has gone. So realistically, we could have reversed and turned around if we'd really wanted to. Alright, so that wasn't a particularly good delivery. We got a reasonable because, well, essentially we crashed. So let's look at the map. Where are we? We need to take a left and follow the road round. Remembering that we're in the United Kingdom and that we need to stay on the left-hand side of the road. Okay. Interestingly, that mini decided to stop in the middle of a roundabout. Really doesn't happen in the UK. Not on roundabouts. You're not allowed to stop on a roundabout unless you can't go forward. Okay. So. Let's get repaired. We're getting straight into it today. Okay, so engine 3% for £787, transmission 2% for £297, chassis whopping 7% for £1,538, the cabin whopping 6% for £3,049, and the wheels 1%, £130, giving us a total of £5,800 to pay to repair our truck. Right, let us rest and then let us get ourselves some gainful employment. What is it, 3 o'clock in the afternoon? It's possible that we might get a day shift today. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to turn the engine off and rest. Yeah, we're going to have the afternoon, aren't we? Oh, and it's raining. Oh, it's the late afternoon, 6 o'clock. That's not fun. Right, gainful employment, here we come. What kind of job do you think we're going to get? Where shall we go today? Somewhere we haven't been before, please. So, Carlisle is where we currently are. Banska Bystrica we've been to quite a few times now. Kosice we've been to. Strava we've been to. Berlin we've been to. Copenhagen we've been to. Dijon we've not been to. It's a relatively short hop, but it's a city that we have not been to yet. So let's hop, I say hop, onto that Dijon train. I am as keen as mustard to go to Dijon. Okay, right. Let's get myself an image of Dijon as a destination. Right. So, engine on. Let's rock. Let's go get ourselves some cargo. Don't think we're in any danger of crashing there. Right. And sadly it does kind of look like we're not going to be able to take the one road out of Carlisle that we haven't driven up yet, because you can see it on the left winking at us knowingly, saying you've not driven this road yet. we are going to be driving up the road we came into. Carlisle on. So that's a shame. Right. Oh, this is tedious. Come on. Oh, crap. Oh, for crying out loud, why would you not stop when I ask you to, you stupid truck? Oh, for crying out loud, are you kidding me? Okay, let's start as we mean to continue. Badly. Okay. So for some reason this guy's just going to sit here. Okay. Now it's our turn. And there's nothing coming, so let's go. Alright, I believe we haven't been to this particular depot, so at least there is that. Hopefully there won't be anyone going in that depot. Oh, Reese has leveled up. Okay. What are we dragging? We are dragging some meat to Dijon. The French taking British meat? Doesn't sound realistic to me. You can see it's a refrigerated unit. Let's whack full lock on. That's not helpful. Let's angle it right, and then hopefully we can tie it in. Boom, and we're off. Off to Dijon. This is our aim. This is our mission, our goal, should we choose to accept it, is to get that meat to Dijon. So I want to talk today about the way that rights are separated. Oh. Across various nations for TV companies and films. I want to talk about why TV companies think it's a good idea to regionalize Blu-ray drives and discs, as if that will stop piracy, when in fact it enables piracy. I'm in New Zealand, and I have an app on my iPad which I downloaded when I was in the United Kingdom, because, you know, I am British and I lived there for almost all of my life until my wife dragged me to New Zealand. Now, I'm going to admit that I initially was dragged kicking and screaming, but I've had a fine old time, and while I'm looking forward to going home, I don't consider my time in New Zealand to be a bad thing. Except, there are certain things I cannot do while I'm in New Zealand that I could freely do while I was in the United Kingdom. I can't use this app. It's called the iPlayer. Now, you would think that because it had the word I in front of it, that it had something to do with Apple. It doesn't. The I stands for Internet, and it's the BBC's Internet. Oh my goodness me, this is dreadful. I've nearly had 3 accidents in the space of a short distance. It's their way of enabling you to watch their programming after it's been broadcast. You can watch it over as long as you've got the internet bandwidth and you've got as long as you've got available bandwidth, you can watch TV programs on BBC iPlayer. It's fantastic. I mean, it could go further. I think the limitations on it are a bit foolish. For instance, it only keeps a program up for 2 weeks, which is fine if you until you accidentally discover a program 5 weeks into its run, go, "Ooh, I'll watch the first 4 episodes on the iPlayer," and you realise that in fact only the 3rd and 4th episode are available because week 1 and week 2 were deleted 4 and 3 weeks ago. They have built in a major update to it, which sounds exciting, but the fact is I can't use that update while I'm in New Zealand, and I can't even update the app while I'm in New Zealand because the iPad knows that the IP address I'm using is in New Zealand, and what's the point, seeing as I can't use the software while I'm in New Zealand? But I'm not, I'm British. Now I understand that it's almost impossible for an app to understand that I'm British, but there must be a way of me being able to keep up with my home programming while I'm abroad. I'm in New Zealand for just 1 year, and during that year I am missing a whole bunch of stuff. I'm missing Formula 1. I am a big fan of Formula 1, and I'm missing it primarily because the BBC won't let me watch it while I'm in New Zealand, and New Zealand couldn't give a rat's ass about Formula 1. It could care less. It has absolutely no interest unless something tragic has happened. For instance, last season, the only primetime news about Formula 1 before the end of the season that the title was won was the information that a marshal was killed accidentally at the Canadian Grand Prix. I'm sorry, but if your level of interest in Formula 1 extends only to the morbidity of someone dying, then you really shouldn't be reporting on the morbidity of someone dying. It surprises me primarily because New Zealand, although it doesn't have a race, has a vested interest in one of the leading teams and has 2 world champions. And the vested interest I'm talking about is Bruce McLaren. Bruce McLaren was the founder of the McLaren Formula 1 team. Now, the McLaren Formula 1 team is a British team. He set it up in the UK. It's now run from the UK. It's staffed by citizens from the UK. It's a UK team. It flies the Union flag, and when it wins a race, the constructors' anthem is God Save the Queen. Now, don't get me wrong, I have problems with God Save the Queen on religious grounds, as in I'm not religious and I don't think there is a God that can save the Queen. I am a monarchist. I think the Queen is awesome. But that is besides the point. That's a conversation that I probably shouldn't be having on this channel, given how contentious it is, given how many people still believe in supernatural imaginary friends in the sky. So given that New Zealand has a team, well, it doesn't have a team. Given there was a team founded by a Kiwi, and they have 2 Kiwi world champions, Bruce McLaren and Denny Hulme, 2 unbelievably talented drivers from a small twin island nation in the middle of nowhere, and they still managed to rise to the top of the pinnacle of world motor racing. No matter what Americans say, the pinnacle of world motor racing is Formula One. They can whine about IndyCar and NASCAR all they want. Oh, shit. The fact remains that Formula One is the world's pinnacle motorsport. It just is. I'm hitting a bunch of buttons for no apparent reason. Speeding fence. That actually is one thing I will want to have on the steering wheel as a button to cycle through the menus. All right. Are we in Newcastle? I believe we may well be in Newcastle. Now we're heading to mainland Europe, where my truck will be road appropriate. So this is one of the problems that I have with the way that nations are divided up into regions by TV companies. What happens is the rights holder for Formula One, which in this case is Formula One Management. Quite why the FIA, or the governing body of Formula One, don't get to control it, I don't know, but no, we definitely don't want to go that way. Let's go to Almere. 16 hours. So, yes, we will need to sleep because that 2-hour break comes at the wrong end of a ferry journey. But anyway, regardless of why it's right that an extra company is required to administer the TV rights for a sport, I don't know. But that sport is incredibly wealthy as a direct result of the rights holders selling regional broadcasters and satellite broadcasters the coverage. Now, in the United Kingdom, I am beyond furious because Sky has finally got its claws into Formula One, and you'll know my hatred for Sky. It's long-standing, and I've mentioned it multiple times on this channel. It's not that the company exists, it's that they are a minority broadcaster that get money from both ends. They charge subscribers for the service, and they charge advertisers for advertising on that service. Now, national broadcasters in the United Kingdom don't need to do this. They just don't need to do it. They could have a broad base if they offered the service for free, but they don't. I would happily pay for a satellite dish if the service was free, given that I am being force-fed advertising, but I'm not getting it for free. I would have to fork out money for it. Now, you have to fork out for the service itself. You have to pay a rental fee for the box and the dish, which don't belong to you. They go back to Sky when you're done with them. Then you have to pay for the services you actually want, because the stuff you actually want Sky for are part of a separate package and not part of the basic package that you already have to pay for. So they're charging you 3 times. Now, it costs £10 a month to watch Formula One. £10 a month. You have to pay £30 to get the service. £40 just to watch Formula One. It's the same with the football, but it's even more outrageous. In order to get the football, you have to buy a sports package, which doesn't just include the one channel. It includes 4 sports channels. 4 sports channels. You cannot get them separately, and because they're offering you 4 channels, they feel like they can throw you over the balcony. And they do. Last time I checked the cost, it was £35 for Sky Sports 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now you don't just want Sky Sports 1, which is the Premier broadcaster, you want 2 as well, because they throw an extra game on 2. You kind of want Sky Sports 2 and 3 because you get to watch championship games, which means that you get to watch the teams that are going to come up, so you get to see the standard and the pace and the quality and the players that are going to be joining you in the Premier League next season. Now, if you follow a team that plays in the Championship, obviously you want Sky, so you can watch those teams. It's depressing. It's £70 a month. It's almost as much as it would cost to go to a football match once a month. It's £40 for a ticket to go and watch Liverpool. On top of that £40, I've got to pay travel. So if I want to watch them at Anfield, then I have to pay the train ticket too. Now it's £35 if you book it far enough in advance. But the thing is, you can't get the ticket far in advance in order to know that you're going to be able to use the train. You can't get the match ticket far enough in advance to know that it'll be worthwhile getting the railway ticket. So you end up paying £60 to £100 because that's the earliest you can get a football ticket. Now, Sky have the rights to show football in the United Kingdom, but they don't have the rights to show it everywhere. In New Zealand, bizarrely enough, in New Zealand, one of the 3 terrestrial channels, one, as it is imaginatively named, has the rights to the Premier League. They show one full match on a Sunday lunchtime, which is usually the midday match from the previous day. Then they get a full highlights package on Monday evening at 11:30 in the evening. I've watched a lot more football in New Zealand this year than I have in the previous 2 years in the United Kingdom, because I just don't have. I don't get to watch a full match. I get the highlights package. It's virtually the same as the match of the day highlights package. You get one major game in extended highlights, another 3 games in somewhat extended highlights, and then you get blasts, usually just highlight incidents and goals from the remaining matches. It's a 1-hour programme. It's fantastic, particularly if your team's doing well. And Liverpool are doing well at the moment, so there's been a lot of Liverpool. Liverpool have featured regularly. And in fact, rarely have Liverpool featured outside the somewhat extended highlights. I can think of only a couple of occasions where they have only featured in the goal and incident blasts, and that's usually when nothing has happened in the game, when we've been in a boring draw. But it's an example of how everything's different. The Premier League, the English Premier League, is the most lucrative football league in the world in terms of television audience. More people watch the English Premier League than watch the Super Bowl. And it doesn't matter how much Americans hate soccer or don't understand it, it won't change the fact that the only truly professional American football league in the world is in the United States. They can call themselves world champions all they like. They're not world champions when they're the only country that bloody plays the game. And I don't want to hear people bleating about the Canadian teams. There are no Canadian teams in the NFL. And when they were owned and managed and staffed by US citizens. So I've got to say US citizens, because America could mean Canada or Brazil. I don't care about American football. I mean, it's mildly diverting, and I did watch the Super Bowl, and that was mildly diverting. But the fact that an hour-long game takes 4 hours to broadcast says everything you need to know about American sports. It's not about the game itself, it's about all of the crap that surrounds it, the spectacle, the statistics, the halftime show, the advertising, for crying out loud. That it costs $1 million a minute to advertise, or is it $1 million a second to advertise during the Super Bowl, says everything you need to know about America. America is driven by money. Money is at the heart of everything they do. Everything has to generate income. If it doesn't generate income, then it's useless to them. And this is why they fight so hard against what they call socialism, as if socialism was some kind of rampant evil. They're fighting against a force that they actually benefit from. They fight against socialism, completely forgetting that the army that protects them is a socialist program, that the police forces, the various police forces that protect them, are a socialist program, that the road building that constructed the roads that enables them to travel from one side of the country to the other were a socialist program called the New Deal, which rescued the United States from the Great Depression before World War II. But I digress. Programs that I should be able to watch are programmed not on a channel that I can watch, but on a channel that I have to pay for, a minority channel. So programs that could receive the widest possible audience get punted onto the smallest possible channel, and it kills any chance of a huge audience. It kills the chance of the program sustaining itself, because the numbers don't justify the continued existence of the program. The short-sightedness of the people that are selling this program beggars belief. They want one huge lump sum once, rather than 7 or 8 smaller lump sums over a period of 7 or 8 years, which will amount to more money and enable them to continue investing in that program and other programs. The ideas that they replace them with will still be there and still exist. So, my wife loves a program called Castle, and I've got to be honest, I find it a guilty pleasure too. It doesn't hurt anyone, it's not nasty to anyone, it's not ridiculous, sorry, I don't know where the hell ridiculous came from. It's not ridiculous like reality TV programming. I don't really care what the, in quotes, Real Housewives of Orange County do, or think about, or say. Their opinions are as meaningless to me as the opinions of a dachshund. They are small-minded people that just happen to have a bit of money and an over-fondness of plastic surgery. I missed the chance of grabbing that. Well, that's a shame. But money is spent on this because people are stupid and voyeuristic and moronic, and actually give a rat's ass about these small-minded, horrifyingly facile people. It's kind of, it's like watching one of these programs is like watching a train crash. It's horrifying, it's terrible, And there's nothing you can do to stop these people from saying the stupid, small-minded things that they say. And yet they still say them, and people pay them to continue to say them. Now, I get that there are people who don't have a vast vocabulary, a reasonable intellect, an IQ that they can be proud of, but that doesn't mean that we all have to be talked down to in the same way. Oh, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? Why on earth would you think that it's a good idea to pull out there? The AI is still broken. And those junctions are wrong. They're just wrong. Nobody coming off a slip road, what the Americans would call an exit ramp, ever has priority. They never, ever have priority. It's just boneheadedly stupid. Anyway. Nowadays it's almost impossible to get a program into a second series if you don't have astonishingly good numbers throughout the series. So it becomes then incumbent upon the existing audience to promote the crap out of a program they love in order to try and persuade their friends and family and family of their friends and family to watch this program in order to keep it on the air. This definitely used to be the case. It never used to be that a series would die after 2 or 3 episodes if it wasn't getting a ridiculous number of people to watch it. Fawlty Towers, which is a classic TV program, which is universally recognised as an astonishingly good piece of television, had appalling numbers when it first started, and by any modern measure would never have survived beyond the 3rd episode. Red Dwarf, which has made it to 11 series in the United Kingdom, had appalling numbers in the first series, but the first series is universally recognised as the very best. It's astonishingly good TV, even though it has incredibly low production values because it was produced on a shoestring, because it was the replacement for something. And they didn't have much money. The money that would have been spent on creating the sets and so forth was spent on the program it replaced. But it's an amazing piece of television. It's incredibly funny. It's well written, well acted, and it goes way beyond its tiny budget. It has a reach that stretches far beyond that ridiculously tiny budget. It would never have got the audience that it got. It would never have made it past that. I should have gone into that. I should have gone into that rest stop. If it would have never got that audience, if it had been created in the modern era, because it would have been canned after about 5 episodes. We need to stop this gladiatorial process towards television, towards program making. It doesn't help the quality of television. It doesn't allow programs to be found, and the programs that do get found by accident, because the right people find them at the right time. The right set of circumstances are created for a program to survive. That's not the way programs should survive. Programs should survive because they're good, and because they eventually find their audience, and they should be allowed to find their audience. Now, amazingly popular programs like The Big Bang Theory or 24, or I don't know, I'm trying to think. Friends, for instance. They found an audience because they were allowed to be broadcast to the widest possible audience, and they were given a shot. They were given a chance to breathe, a chance to grow. The Big Bang Theory got its chance to grow because numbers of it weren't expected to be as high as they've eventually become, and it was a small little program that won over a huge audience. Now, sadly, the program has morphed, and there's nothing can be done about that. It's morphed into something bigger, which means that it's been altered to suit that brand new audience. Now, that's a shame. The characters have changed, and there's not really a great deal can be done about that. I mean, and things move on. You can't expect a program to give you exactly the same thing over the time, over the period of its broadcast history. That would be incredibly boring. But you'd hope that they would grow organically, and that's what I would prefer. I would prefer a program to grow organically rather than being pushed in a direction because it happens to have a big audience. It has a big audience because people like the way it is. They don't want it changed into something that it shouldn't be. Oof, that was close. So yes, so the Big Bang Theory gets to be broadcast on a terrestrial channel in the United Kingdom and a terrestrial channel in New Zealand, where I am now, and a terrestrial channel in America because it was created by that terrestrial channel, what the Americans would call a major network. They call them a network rather than the networks are the big broadcasters that broadcast across the United States. The networks that broadcast across the United States are tied into what they call affiliates, smaller local stations which pick up that programming and carry the logos of that broadcaster. When a program has completed its run, it starts to go into what they call syndication. Syndication is where they license various domestic broadcasters to show repeats, and that is usually where a program makes its money. It makes enough money to keep making the program on advertising, but it makes the real money in syndication. They get paid every time a syndicate broadcasts an episode. And they also get paid in foreign sales, selling a program abroad. It's usually down to the local broadcasters to... Let's get some rest. Oh, what the flippin' heck? Okay, 3 in the morning, wonderful. I really don't know what that damage was about. So, 4.5 hours, we've got 11 hours before we have to sleep, and we've got 19 hours left to deliver this load. So, look at that, we've made it to £13 million for the first time in this game. That's quite a large chunk of cash. So local broadcasters get to choose. Local broadcasters get to localize it, i.e., that usually means dubbing it with local actors. But it's the network who created the program who gets to sell it. Now, I get that. It's totally their choice. They can sell it to whoever the hell they want to. But I do wish they would understand that every time they sell a programme to a minority broadcaster, they're screwing their audience and they're screwing the chances of a bigger audience. Fox did this with one of my favourite programmes, 24. 24 first started getting broadcast in the United Kingdom on a terrestrial channel called BBC Two. BBC Two is the second of the the four BBC channels. It's where they debut stuff they're not 100% certain of, but they are certain of enough to give a chance to. BBC Two showed the first two series of 24, and I loved it, and I watched every single episode on BBC Two. I cleared stuff, I cancelled stuff, I made sure I was sat in front of the television at 10 o'clock in the evening, it was 10 o'clock in the evening, every Sunday so that I could watch 24. And then as soon as Sky realised that 24 was popular, they threw money at getting it on Sky. I then could not watch 24 because I didn't have Sky. Where am I? Just out of interest, where the heck am I? Oh, I'm by Metz. How come I've been to Metz and I haven't got the... Oh, it's possibly because I went there to get recovered. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3... we've got 3 toll booths before we get to Dijon. But we are discovering Dijon. Now, I believe Dijon was in the map that SCS created, so I'm not... Yeah, one would think I was in the UK, getting a speeding fine. BBC Two has a potential reach of about 15 million people. A good broadcast number for BBC is about 16 to 18 million people. They get that sort of number, for instance, during a World Cup game. Now, a TV programme isn't going to get 16 million people. It's probably more likely to get 4 or 5, maybe as high as 8 to 10 million people, depending on the quality of the programme and how much they advertise it and what is being programmed on the other channels. For instance, if you want to develop a following for a program, you don't program it against an incredibly popular domestic soap opera, which in the UK would be something like Coronation Street or EastEnders or Emmerdale. If you want an audience, you don't program against those things, you program against other stuff. If you want a drama to succeed, it's probably a good idea to program it when another channel is broadcast, against a documentary. Now, while I'm a fan of documentaries, I understand that the average person couldn't give a rat's ass about documentaries and don't watch them unless there's something salacious. And sadly, that is humanity for you. We're not interested in knowledge, but if someone is being humiliated or someone's being hurt, or someone's being embarrassed and we can't watch it fast enough. It's getting out of lane so that I can get access to that outer toll booth, and then that means I don't have to slow down for anyone else. Right, so Sky has nothing like that. Sky has a fraction of the potential audience. I don't have the exact figure, but they have more boxes in pubs than they do in people's homes. A pub, a bar, is where people go to watch football. Now, because Sky recognise that a pub can hold hundreds of people that they would rather be getting a fee from than the pub, they stiff the pub. So, having a Sky box in a pub can cost as much as £12,000 a year. That's 12 times what it costs to have it in the home, and probably more actually. Sky spots are probably about 70, so 700. Probably about £900 a year to have Sky in your home with the sports packages. £12,000 for a pub or a bar or a restaurant, or anyone that's anyone that's got a television that can be viewed by more than just your family. They police this by having people go from pub to pub, and if the pub is broadcasting it and the broadcast doesn't have a signal which has a little pint logo in the bottom right hand corner, then they're using a domestic box and they fine them. Quite how they can get away with it, I don't know, but that's what they do. So this is an example of them segregating television programs. I'm going to have to find somewhere to pull over in the next couple of minutes, because I've probably about 3.5 minutes of space left on my phone. Let's pull over here. Right. What we'll do is we'll pull over, upload the footage. Okay. And I will be back in but a moment, which for me will be about 20 minutes, but for you will be a mere second. Alright, as I stated, mere second. And we're back. I really don't understand why the AI just sits there and does nothing when they're joining an empty road. Another example of how the AI is still a little bit broken. And I know I've got the up-to-date AI, because the ProMods update wouldn't work. And I know I got the ProMods update because the three cities that came with it are right in there. The 2 French cities and the one in Sweden. So I'm confused. So we are nearly at our destination. We're relatively fully rested, and we're going to a city we've never been to before. Hopefully it'll have some stuff for us to pick up, a recruitment agency or a truck dealership. So the reason that what I'm going to call silos are bad, the reason that it's bad is because it makes it very difficult for people to find what it is they're looking for. Everybody should have free access to everything. When I say free, I don't mean without a cost. I mean just without a tremendous number of loopholes. Now, there are a number of digital video suppliers now, and there's a number of boxes that offer different various video services. Netflix is one, Amazon Prime is another. In America, you've got HBO Go. And then there are a number of boxes that attempt to provide this service. You get your traditional cable boxes from domestic local providers, and you've got things like the Roku and the Apple TV, the Xbox and PlayStation offer Netflix, and when I'm in the UK I can use my PS3 to watch TV programs on the iPlayer, because there is an iPlayer app. There's also catch-up services for all of the domestic TV suppliers: BBC, ITV, Channel 4 and 5. And that's fantastic. Brilliant. But the trouble is they're all separated. And stuff that's available on one isn't available on another, even if it's the same service. Like Amazon Prime in the US offers a video service that it doesn't offer in the United Kingdom. HBO Go isn't available in the United Kingdom. In fact, the only way you can get HBO is through a cable subscription, possibly satellite. I'm not 100% certain on that one. But I would love HBO. HBO makes some programs I absolutely adore. They were responsible for the 2 World War II dramas, which I think are a measure of how World War II dramas should be made. That's Band of Brothers and The Pacific. Amazing programs that truly demonstrate quality television that sends a real message about how to approach a subject as sensitive as something like war. They do not for a second shy away from the bloody nature of war, but they present it in such a way as to immediately tell you this is not sexy. This is anything but cool. This is painful and horrible and messy. And that's absolutely what war is. It's painful and it's horrible and it's messy, and no one should ever be under any illusion that war is glamorous. They also make one of my current favourite programs called Newsnight, which is about a cable news network and the people that work there, and that I find is a brilliant show. It's an Aaron Sorkin program. Aaron Sorkin, responsible for writing A Few Good Men, responsible for creating and writing The West Wing, Sports Night, and Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. Newsnight is his current program. He's also responsible for writing The Social Network, which was the film about Mark Zuckerberg. I can't watch that program in the UK because it's only available on a satellite channel called Sky Atlantic. Sky Atlantic is a program that they've created to flog you American program from premier broadcasters like HBO. And I can't bloody watch it because I'm not paying Rupert Murdoch a single penny. Now, it does mean that I do get to indulge in one of my favourite pastimes, which is TV series binging. I binge on TV series in box sets. We've done it with Game of Thrones. I'm doing it with Newsnight. I'm doing it with Sherlock. That's how we're doing it. I would love to watch other stuff that way, but there are other reasons why I can't. I'd love to watch Doctor Who that way. I don't get me wrong, I love watching Doctor Who on a Saturday when it comes on telly. Was it Sunday? I think it might be Sunday. There's nothing wrong with it. Right, okay, we're in Dijon. Let's concentrate on Dijon on the map for a second. So, I'm going to do a small loop and then a big loop, and when I do it, I'm going to buy the Dijon garage, and then I'm going to continue the big loop and then back to Euro Goodies, which is our ultimate destination. But we are going to sail on by. One of the main reasons for, aside from petrol, is that when it comes to us having visited all the cities, got all of the updates, and then being close, there are only remaining targets being 100% map discovery and level 150. What I will want to do is I will want to zip. I will want to quick travel from city to city so that I can target the roads that I have yet to drive down. Okay. That's embarrassing. And that's probably cost us the excellent, I think. Not yet. I do have a sneaky suspicion that we will jump from 0% to 1% when we park, because it does tend to jump by 1% once you park. Let's do the small loop first, and then the big loop. Okay, that's that corner done. These are very tight corners in Dijon. Okay. So we've got the petrol station so that we can lump petrol in the vehicle. Ugh. God, that is very tight. Right, it is big loop now. And I think we're going to leave this one to... Right, we're going to leave this one to the traffic light because I don't want to particularly fancy destroying the trailer when we're so close. Alright, we're going to pick up our Dijon garage in a second after this corner and then that long bit of road. If you're looking at the GPS in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, you'll see a little green box just disappearing. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is me not concentrating. Of course I am now causing a traffic jam, and I don't think I can get out of this one. I don't think I can get out of this one without damaging the load. Yeah, and there we go. I think, oh mind you, I might have clipped, yeah. And there, bye-bye to the load. Are you kidding me? How on earth? Okay. That is astonishing. I do not know how I've got away with that. I don't think I actually have. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Alright. Alrighty, here we go. And this is our garage. So come to a halt. Let's unhook. Let's purchase. Yes, please. Boom. Okay. And let's re-hook ourselves up. And I'm using the mirror on the left here to angle myself. Okay, and we're hooked. Just pull forward to confirm that. Right, let's update the garage. Dijon, small. I don't think so. Boom. Yes. Alrighty. Alright, let's get the rest of the map. Not the map, sorry, the rest of Dijon. So we're going to oh, we're green. We go. This is good. And we're nearly done. We just got to park this bad boy. And then that's the end of this particular journey. Oh, no, didn't want to do that. Alright. Somehow we managed to just skate through before the light went yellow. I don't know how sometimes that works and how it doesn't. Maybe it just maybe it just was ignoring us, as it does sometimes. It doesn't catch you every time, which is relatively realistic. Okay, this is a nightmare. Nope, no, that's absolutely the wrong way. Alright, this is going to be complicated. I'm not quite sure how we're going to do this, because this is a lot tighter than I'm comfortable with. I think I'm going to pull a 180, and I'm going to approach from the other side. Because that way I can get leg room. And hopefully this will work. The problem is I can now no longer see what it is I'm aiming at. There we go. Nope. Let's put forward a little. And then hopefully... And I think... Oh, no, not too much. There we go. Awesome. Right, handbrake on, engine off. Are we ready? Did we get an excellent, or did that 1% hurt us when we got to the little dings and bangs we got hurt us when we got to the depot? Did it add it up to 1%? Let's find out. No, we got an excellent. What a relief. We're back, baby, we're back. So, meat delivered from Carlisle to Dijon with an excellent rating, driven distance 828 kilometres, time taken 37 hours and 13 minutes. Fuel consumed 286.5 litres. Base reward of £13,691 and 828 XP. A proficiency bonus for level 35 of £7,187 and a long distance delivery bonus for skill rank 6 of £1,224 and 207 XP. And a bonus for parking the trailer of 45 XP. This gives us a total of 22,102 XP, sorry, £22,102 and 1,080 XP. Guess what that did? Yeah, that got us to level 36. We have finally achieved the last of the skill points. There will be no more skill points applied to our profile. We will now be chasing levels, and we will be chasing percentage of map uncovered. Those are our targets now. That's what we're looking to. So this profile has a lifetime experience of 141,186, and our brand new target for level 37 is 147,300 XP. If you like this video, please click that thumbs up button and make it blue. If you want to see more videos of this nature, or any of my series, then click that subscribe button. If you have friends you think might like this, then let them know so that they can watch one. And if they like it, they can hit the blue thumbs up and they can hit the subscribe button. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching this video. And until I see you in the next one, I'll see you on the road.